I had heard about a man who roamed the Northumberland countryside 12 hours a day, 7 days a week, fighting for a cause that many thought futile. Some said he was mad, a maverick, a lone guardian of the countryside. Some even suggested that he was a Gulf War vet, unable to leave the conflict behind. I found this man at a time in his life when he had sacrificed everything to pick up arms and fight for something he truly believed in. This was a fight bigger than the man himself. It was a fight against 2 million American grey squirrels. A battle that embodied what it meant to be British and proud. A war to save the native red squirrel. Known locally as the Verminator, fully licensed pest control officer extraordinaire Paul Parker had grown tired of the never-ending stream of urban cockroaches and was now hell-bent on the destruction of 2 million grey squirrels.
Hi, you haven't seen any grey squirrels on your travels, have you?
What?
Grey squirrels.
Hundreds an hour, please.
Is it? Can I put some traps in, can I?
Did we have squirrel for breakfast?
I don't often eat squirrel though, but I have had squirrel and it's a very, very fine meat. It tastes a little bit like chicken with a sort of with a lamb texture.
300 miles away in the corridors of power at Westminster, I'd discovered the Red Squirrel Protection Partnership HQ. This one-man army was being commanded and paid for by a House of Lords Liberal Democrat peer, Lord Redesdale.
Reading through Dodds, everyone puts down their interest and recreations as, you know, gardening and reading sort of thing, going to the theatre. But you've got archaeology and caving and the squirrel campaign.
So I haven't been caving for some time. But the squirrels is... the squirrels is actually a result of Parliament. There was a debate. It was about what's happening to the red squirrels. And I've got red squirrels on my land in Northumberland, and greys were actually encroaching. So I knew, if I didn't do something about it, that would be the last of the red squirrels we'd ever see. When I went back up to the northeast, a number of people turned around to me and said, "Look, why aren't you doing something about it?" And that has been a 2-year campaign. I've met some fantastic people. I got a trapper on board called Paul Parker, a large Geordie, with quite a good sense of humour, and we've almost cleared the whole of Northumberland.
I had always wanted to make a war movie, but now found myself in a field with a man, his gun, and a small defenceless animal. I had nothing to worry about though. This was the most humane way to exterminate a squirrel. I was in the hands of a true professional.
Right, we're going to dispatch this squirrel now. What I'm going to do, I'm going to take a nice clean shot. I'm going to shoot it to the back of the head between the ears. And that'll kill it straight away with one shot. Here we go. It twitches a bit, but that animal is dead.
How does it feel when you kill a squirrel?
I mean, I've got nothing against these personally, these grey squirrels, but everything's got its place in nature. These just don't fit in with nature. They're from America, and they just shouldn't be here. Once you get rid of them, the reds will come back, and that's what we should have. That's what belongs on this island, red squirrels.
Outside his house on the edge of Newcastle, while the world around continued to trundle by unaware, I learnt from Paul how Britishness itself was under threat. Grey squirrels were brought to England in the 1800s and ever since have engulfed the island. A deadly pox virus they carry has annihilated the iconic British red. As the red's numbers dwindled to near extinction, the greys bred like rats and now outnumber them 6-1. Back in Westminster, Lord Redesdale receives distressing images from the front line.
This is not good. It's not good at all. I hope he's wrong.
What's that, Rupert?
Squirrel pox. We've had areas where small woodlands, there's been a population of red squirrels. A grey's got in there, caused an outbreak of squirrel pox, and it can kill every single red squirrel within 2 weeks.
I was going to ask you, Rupert, why this is so important to you.
Personally, it's important to me because it can be done, and therefore it's moral to do it. I can't do anything about the loss of the gorillas in Africa or the rhinos, but you know, this is biodiversity. If we lose our red squirrels, it's like anybody else losing one of their species, you know. And I just find it depressing that nobody seems to care.
Look how beautiful that is, man. When I see these, I absolutely despise greys now. And I'm gonna persecute them even more. I'm gonna work twice as hard to kill as many greys as I can after seeing these. Look at that, man. That's just bah.
What do you think of people that say this is a kind of squirrel racism?
Well, they can say what they want. You know, they do anyway. But the thing is, greys don't belong in Great Britain. These are our species that belong to Great Britain. The greys is in the wrong time and in the wrong environment. They just don't fit in. They say, oh, well, you kill one species to save another. Well, I'm sorry, but that's the way it's going to have to be.
Although many animal rights groups disagreed with their methods, these two men saw no other way to save the native red.
How do?
Good afternoon, sir.
You all right?
Basically, you know, we were talking about this whole area.
Yeah.
You know, so over the next month or two, what I want you to think about is moving down here. I want to make sure that the whole of Northumberland is secure.
Yeah.
Okay? Get in there, hammer them, okay? But anything in the background, go for.
Right.
The size of the task at hand was enormous. Rupert had told me that they were now essentially covering an area of 1.2 million acres on a budget of £5,000. This was going to be Paul's toughest test yet, and he was going to have to utilise all of his pest control skills to the full. The enemy seemed elusive, but Paul was undeterred.
Well, the people that get on about how they love England and all this, that and the other, well, they should do something about the red squirrel problem. It's their native species. That's what it looks like when it's opened up. That's it, it comes in, sees a hazelnut from at the top, then it gets bumped around the neck, or around the mid-body. Out in that one.
On the first day of the mission, Paul hadn't caught a single squirrel.
Out. Nothing today, I'm not happy.
It was a total failure. The grey squirrels of Northumberland had evaded Paul's traps.
Squirrel, turn the pan around, straight in front of you. You were having a laugh with me, mate, aren't you? I don't believe this. I don't believe this. I pulled the traps in. There's two. You see them?
Yeah, I see him.
There's two. There's another one up there.
What's the matter?
There's 3 squirrels.
Take it.
Aye, proper. I can't take that. I can't deal out with it. I can set a trap up, but I haven't got permission to be on that bit of land there. Well, I'm not gonna leave it at that. I cannot leave it at that. I'm gonna have to go and knock the horn and see if I can put some traps in. I've seen 3 greys in your garden. Can I trap them? Paul Parker. I've got to get them squirrels, I cannot just to put traps in. Now for a fact, if I set the traps away there now, I'd have them caught by 4 o'clock because they're desperate for food. They're scratching all over the place for food.
Paul seemed re-energised by the thought of ambushing this particularly cocky gang of greys. He seemed to genuinely believe they were mocking him.
Hello, mate, Bob. We'll have them tomorrow. Quite confident.
At Red Squirrel Protection Partnership HQ, as Lord Redesdale and his trusty assistant Alistair tried to raise funds, it was beginning to look like the biggest obstacle facing Paul was the size of the RSPP war chest.
We've got enough money to keep us going till January at the moment, if the van doesn't explode. After January, we're in real trouble. Bless Paul, he's doing his best up there, but it's my job to actually raise the money. And if we haven't got any money in the account, we've got problems.
As Rupert phoned old ladies in Newcastle and asked for donations, back on the front line, Paul was sending the enemy home in body bags.
Three. That's the 4. This is the best part.
What?
Catching the squirrels. See how they were laughing at us and that? Yeah. Not laughing no other. Did you think we would have the 4? Did you?
I never doubted you, Paul.
Right. What I want to see the people out there, like I've said a million times, I am the real deal, right? I didn't talk. We'll come out, we'll set the traps up, and we'll catch these things here. And we're good at it.
What are you filling out?
This is the kill rate. 21,747.
So you killed how many squirrels in total?
21,749.
In terms of squirrels, how many do you need to? How many grey squirrels do you need to kill in order to basically
Get the reds back.
Yeah, save the reds.
2 million.
2 million.
There's about 2 million on the island. As a human being, it's your duty. You're not to live in England, call yourself a true Englishman. It's your duty is to be an Englishman, should be to fight for the red squirrel, which is our native squirrel. And I'm sick of hearing this one, oh, well, they've been here for years and years, and they're born on the island, and it's not. They're intruders, they're from South America, and they shouldn't be here. And it's, you know, if everybody takes the same attitude as me, I don't want grey squirrels on the island. Everybody, every true Englishman, we'll help them to totally crash the population of greys.
Do you like change, Paul?
Not really. It's you've got to change, haven't you? You know, you've constantly got to change your methods for these grey squirrels because they get the drop on you. I've been working on potions and lotions to track them to bait by the thousands, but stinking things. That's all. I hate them.
Would you say you're an obsessive character?
Aye. I get things in my head and I'm away.
Not doing very well at the moment. Got a few phone calls outstanding to follow up, and I think what we'll have to do is put out a begging letter. I'll get on to Susan, put out a begging letter to all the people we've got out there, because even 20 quid from 4 or 5 people is going to make a difference at the moment. I'm giving Paul a couple of weeks' notice so that he can go back onto the moles. Because he used to be known as the Mole Man before he was known as the Squirrel Man.
So it's really desperate times.
Yeah.
With funds now depleted to a bare minimum, Paul continued to battle through the elements, but I could sense imminent defeat. It seemed to me that Paul was a man who was fearful of the world around him changing, and the British countryside and its preservation was symbolic of Paul's battle against this. As a pest control officer, he was always going to be trying to control the uncontrollable, whether it was mice, rats, cockroaches or squirrels. No matter how much you tried to stop them, you were nearly always defeated. I couldn't help but feel for Paul. A pest control officer needed vermin in the way that warriors needed wars. That was now being taken away from him.
Is this a hard one to kill?
Yeah.
Why?
Does it not keep still? That's dead now. Go. You alright?
Okay, Paul, we've got a bit of a problem here. We knew this was coming, but I was looking at the bank figures and we're not going to be able to carry on. We've had this before, I know, but it's not great, and I'm sorry about it, but that's not a lot I can... But are you going to be alright on pest control?
Aye, just stop back on the rabbits and things. Right.
Not much of a Christmas present, is it?
No, but we knew it was going to happen, didn't we?
Yeah. What we're going to have to do is knock the traps off.
Shake this like, innit? You know, you expect it, you know, when it's coming, but when you actually get pull the traps in, it's like the reality of it all comes back flooding in.
What's that?
Why the war stopped, it's been put on hold, hasn't it? There's not a tree, there's not a leaf on the trees now. We waited for months to get the here. And then we get the here, and then the plugs pulled. We will go down the hill. Oh, I don't know. It's like all my work I've done, it's like a waste of time. The greys are laughing and having a laugh at one now. No, look at Fatty, we'll give her a couple of weeks and we'll be back.
So is this the war over then? They're going to win the war?
Well, they're gonna have a good go, aren't they? When you're fetched up in the city, you miss all this, and then when you get back into the countryside, you're glad to be alive. Makes you think, like, you know, like a red squirrel, how free them feel. And then you get the grey squirrels coming on and trying to upset the balance. It's just like, imagine you're living here in the countryside and a load of townies come along, dead loud and boisterous, and upsetting the status quo, the natural status quo of the place.
As it stood, Paul had killed 21,759 squirrels out of an estimated 2 million in Britain, roughly 1%. In Paul, I had found a man who embodied the very nature of what he was fighting for. Like the red squirrel itself, he was the underdog.
I'm knackered. Just check my diary. Oh, it looks like I'm pretty free.
Well, the squirrels won.
No. They're just living on borrowed time. Never before has so much been done by so few. The words of the big man.
Stay with 4, a holiday home in the Scottish Highlands or Dallas in Texas. A place in the sun, home or USA's. Next, saddle up.